So today I'm going to do a kind of update on Platystacus Cotylephorus, which is kind of more of redoing the video. So this is my tank with Platystacus Cotylephorus. I can't quite get the angle, but I'll be showing clips of the fish. So Platystacus Cotylephorus is a South American species of catfish, and catfish is the order Cotylephorus. And Platystacus are in the family Asperidae, which I can't pronounce that well, but that includes members like Banjo, the common Banjo Catfish, and these are also known as the eel-tail Banjo Catfish because they have got that longer tail, which is also seen in Asperidae, but you won't see it. I've never seen that species in the trade. I believe it has appeared. So they inhabit waters of freshwater, brackish and marine, which is pretty cool, but they travel between the two, and they have been known to travel through the marine environment to other rivers. So between the Amazon, Orinoco and that sort of area, I believe, is where they inhabit. There's not much research done on them, not much scientific more so. There is a lot of sources on their care. No one actually knows how they breed, and in that brackish environment is actually where females have been found that contain the cotylophores, which I believe is what they're called, and they're little stalks that carry the eggs on their abdomen. And people have found them in the aquarium trade and hatched the eggs, and I believe have managed to get fry that survived out of it. So they could go down to that brackish water to breed, but no one really knows. And they are kept in usually soft or hard water. I've never seen them kept in brackish, but I would like to attempt to see if I can get them to breed. But they are very hardy, and I wouldn't keep them in the marine long term at all, maybe. But freshwater, soft water or hard water, they're fine. I've seen people keep them with hypercitrus. This is in a TDS of 130 soft water. The pH is quite high though, and they are with Loricado, which is what they're often kept with. I keep mine with Banjo xanthellus, Ancistrus macrophthalmus, Ancistrus CF cirrhosis, and some Pterobunocephalus, which is also in the same family, and I will do a video if I can get enough clips of them because they don't really move much. So they get to around 30 centimetres standard length, but they usually are a bit smaller, but they are still quite large. They don't move much, so you won't need a massive tank compared to most 30 centimetre fish, say some of the common goldfish, comets, stuff like that. But they are standard length, and their tail isn't that big, about that sort of size compared to their body, so its total length and standard length isn't going to differ much. The genus is more omnivorous. They will eat a bit of, I've seen them eat a bit of biofilm, but they won't touch algae. They've not got the mouth parts. It's a normal sort of catfishy face, with the large barbels and some around, well, their lower abdomen, or upper abdomen, can't really pronounce. And they do tend to eat anything. I feed mine frozen food. Generally you want to feed them mostly carnivorous sort of diet. So frozen food, gel food, Repashy is very good for gel food. The frozen food I feed is tuberflex, brine shrimp, daphne, and that sort of stuff. But they will eat the dry food. I feed mine EBO, sponge food. I've noticed them take quite willingly actually. And with Repashy, mine actually will pick at the Soylent Green, and it does. It's not entirely like vegetables. It's more like spirulina, a bit of, I think, fish meal in it currently, and stuff like that. So it is more omnivorous, off which a lot of fish do eat. So they're really unfussy feeders, and they do get quite a big belly that does go down. It does look a bit like bloat, but it's a sort of catfish thing. A lot of the catfishes do tend to get that belly after eating a lot. The one thing they do require is a sandy or a very fine gravel substrate, because they do dig, and that is the same for the whole of Asperidae. So they all dig in their different way. These guys kind of dive bomb like into the subject. I haven't got any videos of that because it's kind of like random. And they're not the best at hiding, and they don't tend to do it that often. So they are out a lot more, but they don't move, and they will move more when you feed them. That's mostly when people see theirs, or lights out, I find. They do prefer higher flow. I have an external and internal and a power head thing, which I need to get a better one. And they do have very small gill opercula, so they do kind of, higher oxygen would be better, but they're not as fast as, say, some Locardae like Ancistrus ranunculus, or Hypancistrus zebra even. They do actually shed their skin, or upper layers, I would say, so I've not really looked into it too much, and no one really knows why. It could be an external like irritation, or maybe even the sand, because I find sand tends to stick to a lot of Aspirinidae, and they could just be trying to remove it periodically so it doesn't stay there too long or get wedged in. So requirements, well, like any catfish, they like clean water, so large water changes, all frequent and smaller ones. But I find a lot of the catfishes are fine with slight temperature changes, but it does help to sort of get the water to a sort of room temperature level. They don't really need hiding place, but I do find they use my flat air pleco caves, the ones I have for the Ancistrus macropithalamus, and they will sit in there. The tank mates wise, I would really like to see it, because it's probably almost impossible for them to actually manage to get fish in the middle layer. So you could keep them with tetra. I wouldn't personally keep them with stuff like shrimp, because I've seen them eat mysis shrimp. I know they're small, but their mouths are bigger than they look. And I've got mine with Tylomelania, and I've never noticed any Tylomelania go missing due to them. So I wouldn't worry about that particularly much at all, really. They were hot. I did move this tank and they were fine with it. They didn't show any issues. They do come in two colours, sort of. There's the darker, then the more caramel colour, which looks, well, the caramel one looks more rusty. And they do have those spots, so you can see the sort of lighter and the dark ones, and they do seem to change, whether it's with age and stuff. And well, I do have two females, which are older, and then one singular male, which is the lighter. And the way you tell the difference is the dorsal spine is longer in the males, and it sort of curves around and sort of flops a bit, whereas the females just have a rubbish sort of dorsal spine. And they are just chill because they don't move, they're sedentary. A lot of people get them thinking, oh, that would be cool for my tank, and it's like, you won't see them if you like they're not active unless you're feeding, but they are hardy. So if you like that sort of fish, if you like a hardy catfish, it's more of a treat to see, or see them move, because you will see them. I see mine all the time, and they are great fish, and I do recommend them if you have a larger tank, or largest tank, depends on. But I wouldn't keep them personally with fish that will keep pestering them, picking them up, because those pectoral fins are sharp, and anyone that's kept them and has done water changes where they've had to move any Aspirinidae will have got stabbed in the finger and it hurts. Or if you're trying to pick one up to move it out the way, it will still do that. And another thing they do is actually they can make a sort of croaking, sort of rubbish noise, really. It's like, and that's done by stridations or something, however you say it, like how locust does it, but they do it with their pectoral fins, so they grind that together and it sort of does that noise. So I think that's all about them. They do prefer to higher temperatures, about 28 degrees is fine, anywhere between 26 to 28 sort of, but a lot of people do keep them with Hypancistrus and stuff like that, so they are higher temperature Locardae anyway. and I keep mine at about 27 because I do have Dancistrus macropithalamus and the Barancistrus xanthellus. High oxygen levels, they're pretty much a hardy fish, they're just a bit unusual, and if you like them, there are stores that have them, and in UK I can recommend any that I know have had them. They are in a sort of highish price range. About, I paid £63 for 2, so they're not cheap, but they're hardy, so there's not as much worry of losing it as there is with quite a lot of other fish. And they're just chill. Personally, they're one of my favourites, and they're so sweet and they're so funny to watch when they move, or if they don't, because they can go hours without moving. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you like my videos, please comment, rate and subscribe. I'll try and do more videos because I've finished my undergrad now, so I have a lot more time, and that's it. So thank you.